Hello, my lovelies. Is anybody there?
Not yet. Give them a minute because we're all late. We did say we'd be on at 8 p.m. UK time, and it is now 15:15. So we'll just give it a couple of minutes.
How are you going to be able to see people?
I normally see them.
Yeah, but you normally do it on your computer, so you can do it then.
No, we've done it on phone for the last quite a few times. I've got one person online. Who's that?
Oh, look a bit windswept.
Sorry we're late. Yeah, bit windy here today. 2 people now coming in. So, who have we got online?
Yeah, tell us who's there. Oh, watch your finger.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Wayne.
Wayne.
How are you doing?
Hello.
So, who else have we got? We'll just give it a few minutes for people to come on. Steve's vids. Kalispera, Greek. Steve. You Greek pirates, good to see you. Mayor's grown a little bit since we last saw you.
Oh, Mozzie. Yeah, good to see you.
If we could see him.
If we could see him. Oh, good to
Who else is there?
writing.
We can see there's a few people on. Just let us know who you are.
Let us know who you are, or ask us a question, get us going.
Yeah. Sorry if it's a little bit grainy, but we sat outside and it's pitch black out here. So we've just got a little... Hi, Michael.
Michael P.
How are you doing, Michael? So, yeah, it's a little bit grainy because we've got a little light just up over here. Zena says hi, heading back to Athens on Friday.
Heading back
Good.
to, what did it say?
Heading back to Athens on Friday.
From the United States. Right, yeah. I think it's a bit windy there as well. Some people that we've met friends with here, they were on the way to Athens and they've had it quite windy.
Yeah. We've got quite a lot of wind, like in the middle of the Med at the minute, middle of the Aegean. So we're sitting it out here for a few days until probably Wednesday when it eases off a little bit.
Can you hear us okay, by the way? Because I feel like we're whispering a bit.
I'm not.
I feel like you're very quiet. Can you hear us all right? Answer me. Anybody there?
Don't forget there's a little bit of a delay.
Sounds good. Okay, that's all right.
So, explain where we are.
Know? Yeah, bloody hell, we left the marina. If you've seen the last video. That was kind of scary, more exciting than scary, but really glad to have got out of there. And we should have done it weeks before, shouldn't we?
We had too much to do.
Yeah, but we had a lot to do, and he wouldn't leave before we'd got all the safety stuff on board, which is understandable. But yeah, it felt like finally doing it. So that first lap, pulling the lines off and going.
And waving goodbye. Oh.
Are we keeping you awake, love?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that
I've
was
had a
quite
little bit
scary.
too much sun today, and I feel a bit sunstrokey on my back. So that's why we was late coming on, because Jen's just said, "What time is it?" And I thought I was just having 5 minutes snooze, and it's been nearly 2 hours. So that's why we're late.
Yeah. You do look rough.
I feel it.
You do look rough. But yeah, so
Water.
we're in Leros. I said, did you want one?
Well, I didn't then, but yeah.
Looking tan and Jen's really. Look at this. I know roots are coming through again.
We're getting quite brown now.
Yeah, I'm just getting anxious or keen to get as far north as we can before the Meltemi, which, as you know, but to let everybody else know, is the strong winds that come through. Start fitfully in June, don't they? But July and August are really, really quite strong. And because we've not witnessed them before, other than when we went to Crete, but we were on land and not on a boat, it's a little bit of the unknown and a little bit frightening. So I want to make sure we're as far north where it's not as strong as we possibly can be. And one of our friends said
running all the way back.
We've got like 2 weeks really to get up there. So we've spent quite a few days and stuff exploring around Kos with our daughter Kame and what have you. And then when we get to an island, I tell you what I do.
A quick question there is, how far north do we have to be to get away from them? You don't get away from them, but if we can get as far north as possible, where there's like the 3 fingers next to Thasos, or Thasos.
Thasos.
Yeah. If you look at the map, there's like 3 fingers comes out at the top of Greece.
Thessaloniki
If you get up
to the
there,
left, Halkidiki.
the wind's a little bit not quite as strong because it's not got time to build up over the sea.
Yeah.
But the problem is getting up there, because when it does pick up, it's a north-westerly wind, which is the direction you've got to be going to get up there. So even now, there's been quite a few days where it's either been a mill pond or it's been quite windy and it's been straight on the nose. So
I've got a bite straight on the nose as well.
yeah.
Aussie bite. But yeah, so we want to try and get as far north as we can, so like where the
I've just said that.
sea finishes. Yeah, in 2 weeks.
But you're wanting to look round everywhere.
Yes, we've looked round before, but I don't want to look round everywhere now because we want to get up there, don't we? And we could always come back and look round
And then
again.
and coming back, we're going to have the wind behind us all the way back down to Crete.
Yeah.
So
And we'll be able to sail back rather than obviously motoring up
Hopefully.
because it's on the nose. Hopefully, that's what people do. But what I've been doing as we've got to these Greek islands, there is so much history there. I know, Michael, so many different things about different places. So what I tend to do is I get out my, that's my little book.
the Rod Heichel books.
The Rod Heichel books. Greek Waters Pilot. And I go on TripAdvisor as well. But I look at what they've got on there, and I can only do one island really at a time because there's that much information about each island. And then when we get there, I do myself like a little thing of what there is, and then hopefully encourage my husband to go and see them, so that as we've seen the island, we've seen what it's famous for, we know how big it is, and we know what we're looking at.
Yeah.
So it's
Somebody
dead
just asked
interesting.
what was the Captain Mars. Why is this on my page? Why is what on your page? How was sailing your boat? Was it easy enough for you, or was your hands full with it?
Yeah.
No, it was quite fine. It's rigged up pretty well for short-handed sailing. Anyway, you can do everything from the cockpit, so it's.
We have had a couple of problems,
I
which
have to
we'll
say,
go
don't you
into.
two look at the picture of self. Feel a bit. Hey up, Dan. Sorry if I keep touching the screen here, but the camera's on this side where I've got to
Where his finger is.
do the thing. Don't take time for more bookshops of Jen.
Cheeky person. Yeah.
Captain Mars, why is this on my page? I don't know. I don't know what.
They probably don't want, I don't know. But yeah, so we've had the first sail we had to come out, if you've seen the video, was a night sail, which you know I
Rossi Pop.
wasn't
now
looking forward to doing, but it wasn't that bad. But what didn't come across on the video, because somebody commented, do I always look so rough when I've woken up? I'd not. Yeah, I'd just woken up, but I'd only had like half an hour, if that, sleep, and I didn't really sleep then, and that was in 24 hours. So yeah, I looked rough, but I'd been at the helm all the way because I was too nosy and too scared to shut my eyes because I couldn't see what was round us. I would rather be steering and looking where we were going.
Hi Al.
So, but we got there in one piece and we had quite a good sail, didn't we?
Oh yeah, Steve's saying at your comment when I said you're not, or you said you're not going to do it maybe till next
Yeah,
year.
next year. Yeah, once a year. Once a year is enough.
You
It
might
is
be
if you
doing
can help
another
it.
one
I
in
know,
a
in
bit because we've
couple of
got a
days.
long stretch in a few
Yeah.
days.
We've got a few long stretches that might be 10-hour goes, but if we can get up early and go at 5, we can get there 5 o'clock at night, which still gives us that. I'd rather do that.
Because our original plan was to leave Crete and head east, which was about 30 miles to the first island, and then about 50 odd.
Yeah,
And
can't
then
remember what they were called, can we?
We decided, because of the winds were favourable, more favourable to go north and then to go east to come in and Kos Rhodes. So that's what we did. So the first proper sail, we came out of the marina, we went round, we had a bit of a play out in the big bay, and then we went just up the coast about 14 miles to Elunda, which we've mentioned on the Jen could be my mother, but I wouldn't call her rough.
No, you wouldn't call your mother rough, because you'd get a slap round your head, wouldn't you?
So we went into that bay and we had a couple of nights there,
It was in my legs.
and then another couple we was there with, they were going up to Astapalia, and says, why don't you do it with us? And so it were like, well, what time did we leave?
Astapalia.
3:30. We left at 3:30 because we wanted to arrive there when the sun was up, and it was 17 hours sailing, so we enjoyed it. So the real proper sail on board Dream was a big one, 80 odd miles, and a night sail,
Yeah.
and a 17-hour one.
Like I said on the video, but I didn't really enjoy it.
But it weren't hard.
No, it wasn't hard, and it wasn't as bad as on my day skipper course, because there were no islands and I could see where we were going.
And you got all instrumentation tubes.
Yeah.
Radar,
So it wasn't
AIS,
as bad. Yeah.
plotter, whereas on your course
Yeah.
you couldn't use anything.
No. I wasn't bum clenching, put it like that, I was alright. Until we got in, and then I was absolutely shattered. Then, there you go.
So, anyway, Dan Phillips is here.
Danny Phillips.
Are you, I saw a video today on Facebook, Dan, you're in Flamingo Land,
Rossi
I think.
Pop, how you doing? Oh, it's nice to see everybody.
How's the
Then
home
don't
brew
push your
coming?
car.
I did a brew just before we left Crete, so I set it going 9 days before we, no, I set it going a week before we were leaving, and I was up till 3 o'clock in the morning running it all through the still.
Yeah,
to get
nothing
it done.
changed. When we used to go on holiday back in England, we'd be working, and we might have to go on holiday at 6 in the morning, say leave the house, and we'd be working with our business work until 2-3 o'clock in the morning. And we thought that would all change. So, like, plan and prepare everything and do it earlier than what you need. So no, this time when we're on about going in the boat, he's doing his blooming brewing till 2 whatever,
3 o'clock I
2 or
finished.
3 o'clock in the morning.
But anyway,
Never changes.
we've now got a stock of alcohol.
But you know all that beer? Do you know all that beer that we put in on that video? We have now got how much left?
A few cases.
1.5
No, there's
cases.
not. There's some under floor down. There's 2 cases under the floor, and there's still 2 cases in there, I think.
Oh, is there? Yeah. Well, we're into
I
the
think.
reserves already, put it like that. But we did have a good night last night, didn't we? We were dancing.
We were the party boat last night. We were just sat here yesterday afternoon about 4 o'clock, and we heard this voice behind us. Oh, you're on board.
And it was Mad Sue.
And
She calls herself Mad Sue.
Sue and her partner. Anyway, they come on board, and it were about 1 o'clock they left this morning.
This morning.
So they were dancing, and
Yeah.
are
We've
you
got
planning to
madness
do
on and
one?
all sorts. Well, are you planning to go long on a long-term trip, or are you going back to the marina to be Frank?
We're doing the old. We'll be going back to the marina in middle of September, October time.
But yeah, no, not back till then.
So we're just doing like an anti-clockwise circuit of the Greek Med. So after tomorrow we'll be out of the Dodecanese. So we've done the Dodecanese, and then we're going up the coast side of Turkey. We might just hop into Turkey, although we're not going to book into Turkey. We might just anchor up overnight en route, and then come back down the other side. So I just missed a comment
Down the
there.
Athens side.
What kind of sailing plans do you have next?
Just fancied that.
Well, that's what we're doing this year. This is to build Salonen. That's what we're doing this year, is staying in the Med, back to Crete for the winter, and then
Med
we're
again,
probably
because
going to
we've
do
not seen
Turkey next
everything.
year. Do it properly, Turkey. We didn't want to do that this year.
And Peloponnese, I want to do Peloponnese, because that's supposed to be the really nicest bit, isn't it?
You'll probably pull that in on the
Will
way
we do
back.
that on the way back?
Maybe.
Ooh, that's good then.
Cyclades, Peloponnese, Dodecanese.
On your knees. Dirty knees, what are these?
So, yeah. It's all good stuff. But you get up now and it's like,
But then last night, when he'd had a drink, and also Steve, this friend, had a drink, we were on about going, I
doing
can't
that.
remember,
I can't.
doing
the
the Atlantic in, I said definitely not next year, but possibly the year after that. and going together, at least us two and probably more people.
We'll see.
So it's a bucket list thing you want to do,
Yeah.
isn't it? But not till we've got obviously quite a bit of experience underneath us. So.
We just want to get to know this boat better. We've had some
And
things
we
with
are.
it. I'm sick of taking. I don't know if you can hear that. We're anchored about half a mile off the beach, and this island seems to have got. Even Rod Eitler's mentioned it in his book from 2012. Is that issue about the local boy racers? They don't seem to have exhausts on, so that's what you can hear in the background probably.
Yeah. But they all do it.
What was I saying? It'll come back. So
Atlantic. Yeah. So yeah, so we're in Leros. We'll have to put a little maps on things when you do your video to show where we are.
people can look online and see. Yeah, if you want to see where we are in real time, for those, I think most people probably know anyway who's on. If you go onto our website, carlandjenny.com, and go onto the locators page, on there you can click on and it'll show you in real time whereabouts we are, and you can like track the route and stuff, and it shows you how fast we're going. No Caribbean plans. Yeah, if we cross the Atlantic,
Yes,
that's where we'll be
13
going,
wins. Yeah. Oh yeah.
but not for say a couple of years. Oh yeah, we're talking about boat jobs we've had to do on the boat. So
So everything hasn't been straightforward.
sailing has, ish, other than the jib got stuck. We couldn't get the jib out, and which anybody knows, your jib's most of your power when you're sailing. So we had the main up, and we're having to motor sail basically because it was on.
Explain what it had got.
There weren't a lot of wind. Yeah, so what had happened at the top of the jib, where the bearing at the top, the halyard comes down, you've got your forestay there, the halyard's there, and then you've got the bearing, what the jib wraps around. And this halyard, for some reason, had started to twist around the forestay, like that, so that we'd give it a couple of pulls to get the jib out, and then it won't come out any further.
Yeah, and you could see like a foot or so from the top. It was that tight. It was like somebody got a cloth and done it one way and one another. So we couldn't even move it, could
No,
we?
no.
And a really nice guy, and other sailors when we were
Somebody
in
from the Cruising Association
where
in
were we?
Nisseros.
Nisseros, which was like the volcano island. That was brilliant. That was really good.
That video will be out later.
Soon, yeah. Loved that island because we went round. We hired some mopeds and went all the way round. But anyway, this guy who was in there put off his lunch and said, "I can come and
Basically, we
I
had
can
to
come and get it out for you if you like."
Yeah, we're
okay.
going up to there, Steve. I think that'll be within next
Yes.
week.
Lesbos.
Lesbos. Yeah, so we had to take the sail down totally, and then we put it back up again.
Well, it was in out to try and get the halyard.
No, we took the sail off,
Yeah.
put it
Then
back
put
up,
it back on.
and then what we did,
In out.
we lengthened the bottom, where it connects to the bottom bearing, roller, furler or whatever you want to call it. We've actually raised the sail up probably about a foot higher, maybe longer, 18 inches, and then put some strapping there so that we've reduced the top of the mast
The
where it
amount of
can
space
spin
at
round.
the top.
I know what I mean.
Yeah.
Even
And
if
it
it's
seems
not
to have
good.
worked. So we've managed to get it out and
Yep,
pull
it's
it back
out
in
again now.
quite all right. So we just hope that stays like that.
But the heads have been the pain in the arse. So
They
before
reckon you're not a sailor until you start talking about heads and problems.
before we left, I renewed all the bottom hoses on both toilets. We replaced the sea cocks while it was on the hard, and then we've not used the toilets for number twos while we've been in the marina ever. And the first time we used
And
the
the
electric,
previous owner never did.
and the first time we used,
Stop tutting when I interrupt.
and the first time we used it, it wouldn't flush. So we had to dismantle it all again, and the main pipe up to the top of the holding tank, which is about that thick, 38 millimetres, was totally solid with crystal. Not real-
Calcium.
Calcium, yeah, crystallised calcium. So it was a whole new pipe. We replaced it.
So we could go up what you could.
Yeah.
Basically.
Anyway, we've replaced it, and that were working fine. But then we was in a little port, and we had to close the heads, close the
Seacock.
seacock. And Jen normally does it like on a weekly basis, tests them, or when we're going out sailing, she'll close them and open them. I've not done that one since I fitted it. And I went to close it, and I thought, this is a bit stiff. But I don't know if it was stiff because I weren't used to it, or it were stiff. But then when I came to open it, when we were out at sea, it felt even stiffer. So we daren't open that one anymore now, so that one's out of use.
So I've tried myself, but you know, like when it's stuck and you daren't yank it in case it
Because that will sink the boat
comes off
if we're
and
out
sink the
at
bloody
sea.
boat. So,
So, and then the other heads, which is the manual one, it ended up getting at the bottom of the pump. It was a jab scope, and where you pump it up and down, right at the bottom, we've got an airline crack on it. So then when you're pumping, water or waste was then coming out onto the floor in the shower. So
lovely.
beautiful. So we've had to buy. We were lucky where we was in Rhodes.
Rhodes, yeah, they got a
There was
good
a chandler there.
chandler.
Luckily, they've been able to replace the old bottom of the toilet pump.
But for a moment we were just bucket.
Yeah, bucket and chuck
Bucket
it.
and chuck it. Fortunately.
Have I heard anything else go wrong? No, we haven't. That's been it. Touch wood.
That's it, yeah, we were down to no toilet, bucket time, Dave, yeah. Bucket, chuck it. And you know when you can't go, you want to go. It's terrible.
Oh, yes.
Somebody said get a composting toilet. What are they? No
You
need
just
to
put
flush.
compost in it. Just breaks down naturally, doesn't it?
Yeah, but you've still got to open your seacock, haven't you?
No, because there's no liquid in it. Just compost up. Like a compost bin.
And then have it pumped out.
No, it just... I don't know what you do with it. I can go on.
What do you do with it when it composts?
Separate solids.
Solids and liquid. Well, you've still got to have an holding tank to have solids and liquids, haven't you?
Well, you don't have an holding tank for your liquids, do you?
No. Well, we'll have to look into that because obviously we don't know what it's about.
I'm not
but-
changing all toilets,
No. But this
Again.
one that is our nice toilet near our
which is like a house
bedroom,
toilet.
is a lovely automatic
No
flush.
holding tanks.
Thank you. Is a lovely automatic flush. But we can't use that one because that's the one with the seacock and that's 75% full.
It's not.
Well, it says that.
No, that's this one.
Oh, is it?
And it's not full, that's a sensor. Because that one's open.
We can't use it anyway. Can't use the nice toilet until we get back to Crete.
Well,
and
we
then we're going
could
to
use
lift it
it.
again.
But we'd end up filling up the thing, and then when I have to take the hoses off, oh, I'm not looking forward to that.
It was funny.
I think what we
Made
might,
him do it anyway
what we
because
might have to do is wait till we get it out of the water, and then open it, and we'll probably find it'll just go, and we'll have spent all season not using it.
Yeah.
But that's sailing.
Yeah. And some people have said, go in the water,
Put a plug in it.
plug in it from the outside, not a wooden plug or anything, but just like a bag with some rags in it and stuff, and then do it. But we don't do that yet.
Not going to risk it because if it snaps off, we're stuck.
Yeah. And we've got another toilet, so we're all right. We've got a bucket as well. We've got a toilet and a bucket, so we're okay.
It's in the closed position.
So,
We'll just leave
yeah.
it.
But that was it. So they were the only two little problems that we've.
Oh no, it didn't. You've had to go up mast a couple of times
Yeah.
because don't know how it's done it, but the VHF antenna right at the top of the mast, the plug came out, so with no VHF on the main set, we're having to use the handle. So Jen had to go up.
Yeah. I went up the first time to clean the mast because they'd had the red sand from the Sahara and it absolutely covered the boat while we were
We
back
did
in
that
England.
in Marina though.
We did it in the marina and filmed it, but then we wanted to get the video out about us leaving and no more being in a van and stuff. So,
So what's happened is all the footage we've been filming before we took the van back, and we got loads of footage.
Yeah.
We bought a brand new hard drive, and I've transferred it all onto this new hard drive because the other hard drive we were using for doing the actual editing on was getting full. And I come to put it on the other day when I was doing some editing, and it's just not recognised. It's recognising the drive, but the partition bit, what's got all the footage on, we can't get into it. So we've not lost it, it's still there, but I just can't access it at the moment, so I'll have to mess about with that.
So I went up that once, and then I went up again for that antenna.
Yeah. Well, we was here.
Quite enjoyed it actually.
But we were on our own when we went up last time.
Yeah. And
Which
not in
is
a marina.
Which is not easy because, no, we were at anchor, weren't you?
Yeah, we were at anchor. But it's
put-
always a bit windier up
We
there.
put a safety line on, so she's got the bosun's chair, and then I put a safety line onto that, and then we use the spare alley to hoist her up, so I'm having to wind in two. Oh no, Kyle was here.
Yeah.
So yeah, we weren't too bad on that one. You got to use two winches.
Not that I'm that heavy, but because we've got
Safety.
2 lines.
You don't want to be going up with just one line,
No.
although some people do. Some people climb up. That could be the next thing, is
No.
learn how to shin up it.
No.
So,
So yeah.
what we're going so, what we're going to, I made a little note here just to remind myself. Tomorrow, we are, because we're in this anchorage, we're going to film the boat video to do you like a tour around the boat. So we're going to record it tomorrow, and I'll probably edit it tomorrow, and it will be going online within a couple of days. But we're going to put it out for patrons only, as we do all of the videos. Patrons will get first view of it. So if you want to watch it on early doors and you're not already a patron, you can join from just $1 a month, which gives you early access to all the videos.
Yeah.
But it'll be back on YouTube as a normal video a few days later anyway, if you want to watch that.
Yeah.
So
we'll
yeah,
s-
the
we'll
boat
do-
tour.
Yeah, we'll do the normal and start.
We'll
Start
start
at the front.
at the bow.
Show you everything we've got, and then come back.
So that was that. Are we still using the
Steve, I was
stubs?
going to say, Steve.
Yeah, we blew them up in Rhodes, didn't we?
Yeah, we blew them up when our daughter and fiance came and had a good laugh then. To be honest, while we've been island hopping, if you like, we've not. We put them back down because we wanted to have as free.
I don't want them on
Side
deck
as
while we're
possible.
sailing because
yeah.
they're quite big things, and if a wave hits them, and we've had some good waves breaking over the boat, if a wave hits it, it might rip it off and damage the boat, or we might lose them. And they're quite wide anyway, so there's.
But there'll be plenty of time to do that. It's going
On
to be
YouTube,
great.
there are very expensive commercial ones and a lot of cheap home-built ones, which can be
Yeah,
really good
yeah.
if you are good at making things, and a great way to save money.
Some
Oh,
money.
toilets, self-composting things.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not going to bother with Dave. The ones we've got we'll just use. I mean, they're
Yeah.
fitted in.
They've just never been changed before because they didn't need
Yeah.
to.
No.
So,
One of the things what everybody's told us is that the pipes on the toilets tend to get calcium deposits in them pretty regular, especially if you're using it for weaning all the time. So it's just one of them things. So they've now bought, all the pipes have been replaced, so we should be okay.
Oh, we're wobbling a bit again now.
Yeah, we've got a bit of roll.
Yeah. And we had a terrible night the other night.
Oh God, where were we?
We were in.
Kalimnos.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember the bay.
Kalimnos. The main. Can't remember.
Terrible names, aren't we?
It's all Greek.
It was like Dolce and Gabbana, but it wasn't the Gabbana on the end. I can't remember what it was. In this place anyway, it was quite a nice secluded spot. Took a picture and we went on to a restaurant, like the 2 or 3 that were just overlooking the sea. But then when we got back, it was flat calm,
But swell.
no wind, but such a swell.
And it was
Yeah.
like under the water. You couldn't see anything on top, but
Yeah.
underneath.
We were just
It was-
bobbing and rolling like that. we had to be like sardines in a tin and put all
Cushions
cushions.
between
There
us.
are loads of pillows that you'll see that are on our bed and everywhere. We had to put them either side of us because we were just, you couldn't lift your knees up because you were just rolling like that.
Well,
And
you
I
had
mean,
to, you
when I
had to
mean
lift your
all
knees up to a
night,
V
it was
position so you
all
could
night.
stop rolling over.
Yeah, so that wasn't very good, but we
Hello,
slept more
Blue
than we
Zone.
could. Hi, Blue Zone.
Whole shot.
Old shop.
I see you here.
193.
No seatbelt, no tanks, no maintenance. Blue Zone out from
Yeah.
Germany. We've got quite a few Germans in the
Yeah.
in the anchorage with us here.
Guten Abend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll show you around, but it's pitch black.
It is beautiful. In fact, well, we're going to do a video here because I've learnt all about where we are today, and there's loads of interesting places. We want to have, it's bank holiday Monday tomorrow.
And we've run out of eggs, and there's no shops open.
Nowhere open, so we're
Nothing
having to
open.
get everything out of stock. But there's loads of places. There's war museums. There's
What was his name?
Mussolini.
Mussolini. His holiday home is literally half a mile
Over there
across
that
it,
you
or
can see.
maybe a mile. 3/4 of a mile.
There.
See his holiday home,
Yeah.
as was. So,
There's your usual castle, your churches and everything like that, but there's
Quite
a
a
lot
bit
to
of
do with the
history.
history here. So, when I got my boat the first year, I had problems with toilet, replaced the hoses and pump, all good, refurbished the old pump, assembly, so I have a problem, it's only 4 bolts.
yeah.
Yeah. They were both straight forward,
The problem is,
and we learnt a lot, that was the
yeah,
thing.
I know the toilet
Now we
system
know.
inside out, literally.
Yeah, you learn more, don't you?
The problem
Each time
is
something happens.
the access to it, because they're like in little tiny cupboards, and you've got to get your arm in. I mean, the hosing, for those of you worked on boat heads, the hosings are really thick hose, and you've got to either soak it in boiling water, or I've got a little heat gun, but I can only use the heat gun
Not no plastic.
when we're in a marina. This video went to boom, sorry. Yeah, it's really hard, and you've got to really put some force on it to screw it, like get it onto the fitments, and because of where they put them, being like hard to reach places,
You'll see it's
you've
like
got a
cupboard.
little cupboard door that wide to like get your arm in, and you just can't get any leverage. You can't get 2 hands on it.
Yeah, because you can't get your shoulders in. I couldn't even get mine in.
I
I
struggled
was
to get
going
my arms
in
in.
sideways with one arm. That was all right. Then I managed to get my head in that way. Then I had to shove one boob in, and I was like in there, wasn't I?
Yeah.
And I thought I was going to get stuck, but it was funny. Yeah.
So,
That was-
but anyway,
that's
that's toilets.
That's part of it, isn't it?
Lube. Yeah, I've put some lube on, but they're bloody tight. Really are.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what else? Oh yeah, we've just put, before we left, we bought 3 bottles of gas, because we use the camping gas, the smaller, like the 12-inch canisters. We bought 3. We've used 2 since we've been out. Come to put the 3rd one on.
And we've got the
And
wrong
they-
size for our...
They've given us a different shaped bottle, and it
Yeah.
won't fit in. It fits in the locker, but we can't close the door. So we're going to have to get that changed.
And
Didn't
then,
notice
looking
when we
that
bought
way,
it.
Carl's getting severely peed off with
Oh, yeah.
water always in the dinghy, which we tried to mend.
Yeah, we
At
did
least
we did it on a
twice, 3
Fix It
times.
Friday video. The dinghy was leaking water a little bit, but now it's like, if I go to that now, there's probably 5 inches of water in it.
Yeah.
So we have to bucket it out to get to shore. And
I'll
then
book it again.
we'll go for a walk round, get back to the boat, and we've got to bucket it out again.
Oh, thanks for joining us, Dave. Yeah.
Yeah, cheers,
See you,
Dave.
mate.
Um,
Take care.
So we're going to have to get a new dinghy at some point. But this one, we've just put I put a little video up onto YouTube
Yeah.
yesterday, where Jen's been in it on her own for the first time and gets it up onto the plane.
You could hear me screaming across the bay. Hey, it was good though.
So if you've not seen it, go onto our Facebook page and have a look. It's quite funny. So, but yeah, it goes all right. But I think we'll get a little bit bigger one, and maybe change the engine as well for 10 horsepower. because when there's two of us in this one, we can't get it onto the plane. It's just not quite getting there. So, and when you're anchoring quite a way off, we need it on a plane to get there quicker.
But we do prefer, or I prefer anchoring to being in a marina.
I like both. Marina's nice and convenient.
When you need stuff.
Yeah, like when
And
we've
it's
got to do.
blowing a hoolie and you want to make sure you're safe. And you need to do your washing and all stuff like that.
But you can do it on here.
Yeah.
We've got generators switched on.
Yeah.
But then it's water, isn't it? So
Yeah. But I like your privacy when you're on your, you know, when we're like this.
when you're on anchor.
When you're on anchor. And then
Yeah.
you get all the lights you can't see. Show them round.
Oh, you're not see. So,
So we're in the main port at the minute. Port.
I get up in the morning to a wet dinghy, take the outboard off and flip it. I can't flip it, it's too heavy. I mean literally there's 5 to 6 inches of water in it now. And I think if I put the strap onto one of the points and lifted it up, it'd snap it. Have you finally got Carl to put sun protection every day yet, Jenny? He was really ready.
No,
I don't wear it.
you've been clever, not
No,
wearing
I
it.
don't. Once I've gone brown, I'm alright, I don't. We was getting rid of the white tan lines the other day and I've gone a little bit red there, but I did put a bit on. But now my
But
back
no,
in,
he doesn't tend to use sun cream. I have to make him
should
have
do.
it, don't I?
Yeah, should do.
Yeah.
But I'm not red anymore anyway. I don't think so. Got a nice tan. I don't know if you can see it under. It's not very good this light. It's one of these ultra
We're looking
bright,
quite salty. Look. Oh, God,
ultra
look at my
bright
hair.
white LED lights. We've got an Rottner, and I'm glad we have because
It's a good one.
it's good. We really trust it. So yeah.
We've only had.
If anybody's looking at buying an anchor, I would go for a Rottner. They cost a bit more. Or what's the other one? Manatee. There's one what's the same as the Rottner but a lot cheaper.
Same shape.
Yeah, it's exactly
Copy.
the same.
Yeah. But we'll show you that again on the video. And
We won't.
no, we? We're going to show you.
We're going to show anchor you. Knob.
No, it's in the water. We would have done.
Mantis, that's it.
Yeah, we would have shown it you.
Yeah.
But it's in the water.
But I think the one we've got on is a couple of kilograms oversized for this size boat. I think the recommended one is 29 kilos for this boat, and we've got a 33 on it.
But that just gives you more confidence.
And we've got 90 metres of chain as well. So
And what I do
we
recommend.
do tend to put a little bit more chain out, don't we, than
Yeah.
we need.
Well, if you've got it, use it.
It's better out
But-
than in.
What I also like is that little gadget thing that you've got. That app.
Oh, the anchor alarm. Yeah, we've got it
Yeah.
on the iPhone
This is
and
how you
it's
can
on all
tell
the
your
time.
wives, girlfriends that you're safe and you can sleep all right. Put this little anchor alarm on. It'll show you where
As you
you
drop
can
the
be.
anchor, you press down on the app. You then back up and it monitors. It knows how much anchor chain you've put out from your position using GPS. And then you can draw a circle around it. So like we've got at the moment 40 metres of chain out, I think. So we drop 40
Oh,
metres
yeah.
of chain and on the app it'll say 40 metres. And it gives or takes 5 metres, so just add a little bit onto that. And then you can draw a circle around it to whatever size you want. So we normally put about another 10 metres onto that. But then you can see your boat moving round on this app as it swings round on its position. But it's been here. I've had this running. We actually moved the boat this morning, didn't we?
Yeah.
Because when we got here the other day, it was absolutely cram-packed, and we was in the middle of the channel where people are going into the port. But a lot of boats left this morning, probably because of the noise we made last night.
Singing and dancing.
So we've moved in a little bit closer now.
But this
But
anchor thing,
It's really good.
you can go to sleep, and if you go outside that like radius of where you've got your You sent a
alarm
bit
goes off.
to your circle, it sends you an alarm, so you're going to wake up. So you know you're not going out of, you're not dragging basically. So yeah, you can sleep peacefully as long as you've not got any rocking and rolling.
And the other thing you can do with it is you can leave the phone on here on the boat, and you can set it to send you an email. So if we go walkabouts, we can set, it'll send an email to our other phone if it starts dragging or it comes out of that little circle.
Right,
which is
nifty
good.
little app. Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Fantabidoozy. So yeah. What else do we find good or bad? I'm trying to look round where I'm thinking.
Everything's been working okay. We're pleased with how the boat works, handles and sails.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been getting a bit on the ankles. We're getting up to like 8.5 knots some days when it's been real. Needs about 20 knots of wind, doesn't it?
Yeah. To fly.
Once we get 20 knots of wind, we can have full jib out, full mainsail. We get a nice bit of lean on it, and 8.5 knots, and it's steady, isn't it? You feel safe on it till it starts going over waves. We've had a few of them breaking over the front, but we never ever leave the hatches open like we did a couple of years ago.
No.
If you looked at our sailing the Atlantic,
and double check.
when we were doing the Atlantic, when we chartered down there, and I'd shut the hatch, but I'd put it onto the vent position.
Not realising he'd put it on
Not
the vent
realising.
position.
And we'd had it quite rough. And when we went down, when we got into port that night, we got 3 inch of water in the bedroom floor, and the mattress was totally soaked, and I ruined a laptop and Mac. Oops, hang on, what have I done there? Just got a comment. Where have you left the camper van, and are you paying for storage? No, the camper van's in England at the moment, Al, and my cousin, who our son works for, has got it in his warehouse, so it's quite secure.
Yeah. And like he says with the anchor, he'd always go bigger.
And no, we're not
it's
paying
safe.
for storage because it's family. Yeah, ground tackle. Always get bigger ground tackle than you need. That's what he's saying. You've got a big boat, you pay a lot for your boat, pay a bit more for your money, for your anchor.
Yeah, because that's what's holding you down. So yeah, so we've met a few people here that were in Crete.
In fact, there's 2 boats over here. Sue and Steve who came last night. They were in
That's
Crete with us.
lovely. Yeah, that's nice when you come into Anchorage or wherever it is, and you're busy looking where you're going to go and stuff, and then there's somebody going, "Gooey!" or like waving you over. That's really nice.
What was good is when we left Crete and we went to Astapalea, and one of the couples, Steve and Babs, who we sailed over to Astapalea with, they then left us. They were going somewhere else to meet up with other people later. And then when we was sailing from Kos to... No, we were in Kalymnos, and we'd come around the bottom of Kalymnos and going up the other side, and we could see about 2 or 3 miles away a sail. And we were just motoring at that point because there was no wind where we were, and then the wind picked up, we put the sail up, but the direction we wanted to go was slightly off for the wind, so we had to aim for where that boat was. And as we got closer, we pinged up on AIS, and who was it? It was Steve and Babs. So
God blimey, of all the seas in all the world, and they were on the horsey.
we shouted them up on the radio, and
Fancy seeing you.
we both dropped sails,
Yeah.
and we just sat there drifting along for half an hour, didn't we? So if you look
it's
on
really
our locators thing when we leave Kalymnos, you'll see a little diversion on the thing, and that's what we were doing then.
Yeah.
We met up and just drifted for a bit, talking, catching up.
Yeah.
Well, that was quite good. But it is, we've done it a few times, haven't we, where we're just bumping into people who we know now.
One big happy family, it's lovely. Yeah.
We're getting a roll again.
Yeah. And more on.
There's no boats moving. But we've got the main, we're in like an estuary, and we've got the the opening to the estuary. There's nothing between us and that, and it's, how far is it? 2 miles.
Yeah.
But it's flat calm in here, but you still get the effect of the wind.
They can't tell 'cause
sequence.
it's just dark behind us.
I know. Now I can. Somebody just asked a question there. Just seen episode 34. You happy peeps. More please.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah,
Thank
there's
you.
more coming now. So if you just got that
Yeah.
comment I made earlier, we've
Should-
lost quite a lot of footage. So, but it's brought us up to
Date.
date. So like we're a couple of weeks, 3 weeks behind now. So that one where we set off, we left on May the 1st. Was it the 1st?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
30th of April, 1st of May.
Yeah.
And what we're on now, 27.
Near the end of it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how many days behind we are.
But we're going to get there. But no, it's a lovely lifestyle, and so far, touch wood, everything's been okay, and I really would recommend it to anybody.
Anybody.
To give it a go.
Do it.
No matter how short, how long, it doesn't matter. What we'll do is, like, Carl will lay on his side here like this, and I'll lay on my little bit, and you've got a different view as the boat's moving around like this when you're in anchor. You just keep looking at different things. You're looking at the
you
same
try to read your
area.
Kindle, and then you can't because everything's changing. And
It's so beautiful. Then you get your binoculars out and you look at that, and then I'm looking in my book and thinking, what's that? Is that what's identified here? Is that the old mental hospital that was? Is that Mussolini's home? Is that the there's a clock tower here that I've read tonight. We walked past yesterday.
today,
Is it today?
Yeah.
Yeah, we walked past today, didn't even notice it. Then I've looked in my little Eichel books and on Wikipedia and stuff like that. And part of the clock tower, the clock stopped, or rumour has it, when the first German World War II bomb hit the island, and it's been bombed a lot, this island.
Leros was
So-
the most bombed island in the war.
Apart from Crete. Crete was the most, where we were living, and then here is the second. So you learn. I never did history at school, and I'm really, really getting
But you
into
wouldn't
it.
have learnt that at school anyway.
No, but it's so interesting, so we're hoping to be able to convey a bit of more stuff like that. But say we've gone past this clock, and it's stuck at 2:30 on one side, and then round the other they've got the proper time. But you just wouldn't notice it, would you, if you didn't look things up? So
You thought, oh, they've not wound clock up.
yeah, we just walked past it, we didn't even know. So
I
we're
need a
hoping to get
shave.
out and about. Yes, you do.
I've not had a shave for a couple of days. And, sorry, what was the name of the anchor alarm app?
Honestly.
I think it's just called Anchor. I
Take
can't.
a watch.
No. If you go on, I'm on an iPhone, so it's an iOS app, and I think it's like it's a little circle with a boat picture in, blue background. Local boy races out again. So yeah, I think it's just called Anchor, and I'm pretty sure it is a free one, but it is good.
Yeah.
What you've got to remember to do to make it more accurate is when you drop the anchor, press the button down. You can do it afterwards and then you can just reposition where it was. Is there a cost or charge to sail around the Greek islands? You've got to have your Depka, which is it €30 or €50, which is like a transit log.
Yeah.
But
But
once you've
basically,
got it,
no,
well there is.
not yet.
There's the Greek tax, boat tax. However, nobody's implementing it at the moment. So, depending on what size boat, I think for our size boat, works out at around about 150 quid a month. But nobody's.
For the moment, no, nobody pays anything.
The port police aren't implementing it. You ask them about it, they don't want to know. It's just a little bit of hassle. If you go into a lot of the forums like Med Sailing and stuff like that, and people are talking about it, or Cruising Association forums, it's been in now, I think, over a year, and still it's not been implemented.
Yeah. So people are concerned they've got to pay, but so far haven't had to. And like we've been in some, especially at the start of the season, you pull into like little marinas, ports,
And they don't charge
and
you.
they don't charge you anything.
We was in one and we
It's
had
real, they're
electric,
so
water,
kind.
they grab your mooring lines for you,
Yeah.
and no charge.
Yeah.
But then if you go into a marina, they're paying.
Yeah.
I mean, we paid €159 for 5 nights, but we got a pretty good discount with being CA members. I think we get 25-30% discount.
But you're paying for staff and you're paying for shower blocks and you're paying for
all
the shop that's on the
bits.
thing and stuff. Whereas no, get yourself to Greece, it's fab. There's so many little islands, so many little inlets on every island that you can go to, depending on the weather, of course. But we might have had one spot of rain. No, we had that big lightning thunderstorm.
Yeah, but it didn't rain.
No, it did. Yeah, it did.
Not when it were doing it.
Yeah, it did.
It didn't rain for 2 or 3 hours, and then the rain started as the thunderstorm were passing. Do you remember?
It did it while I was still up and filming it, because I filmed it.
But it started at 4 o'clock in the morning, and when they say that thunder and lightning never go together, because I've watched films before, I'm telling you, see like a flash of lightning and thunder sound at the same time, and it's like, that doesn't happen. Does.
Hell, it does.
Because we've got like 2 storms, and thunder were cracking off over this side, and sheet lightning's cracking off over this side, can't see your face. And then this one had thunder, and that one had been...
I couldn't stay in bed, put it like that.
And you're thinking, we've got 60 odd to mast
We've
up
got
there.
a really tall mast.
Metal one.
Let's hope it doesn't hit us. But you couldn't help but like just keep...
And it started at 4 o'clock in the morning and didn't finish till about 7ish. It does we were at once.
It does we were at once. Oh, yeah, it does it. I know people have said that. In fact, one of our friends, Paul, said one of his biggest fears was being out on the water and obviously getting struck by lightning. And his funniest thing was he said all he kept wanting to do all the time, Steve, was up and down the steps, whatever you call them, companionway there, up and down them all the time, looking for his wellies or like running down. What shall I do? What shall I do? Coming back up. What shall I do? What shall I do? What? Yeah, it's just you're unlucky if you get struck, I think. But
if you're going to get struck, you get struck. There's not a lot you can do about it, is there?
Yeah, not a lot.
There's nothing you can do about it.
No.
I mean, people
say
you're
all right with it.
Put all your electrical items in your oven. I think my electrical items are going to be at least of my worries. If a bolt of lightning hits that,
I'm just going to get my wellies on.
Well, you're just going to get your life jacket on and dinghy out because you're going to sink, probably.
I just want my wellies on and stand on a newspaper. That's what I was
Somebody
told.
just asked what budget are we on a month.
Oh.
We don't actually set a budget. We know what our earnings are a month from my pension, and we don't go above it, basically.
We have got to get a bit tighter, but only because we've had our daughter and her son in, and then we stayed in that marina for a while and paid more than we would have done. We're trying to be careful because obviously you don't want it to run away.
You've not got to live as though you're on holiday.
Yeah, the problem is when people visit you and stuff, you do act like you're on holiday, and you do spend
well, it's like today.
a lot of money on alcohol and food. If
we went for a walk.
Out.
We went out to find a shop really to get some more supplies because we've run out of veg and eggs, and we thought, well, we're out. We'll just get a bite to eat.
I'm starving.
It's like 30 quid, 30 euros, wasn't it? 32 euros.
Which is nothing.
It was we had
a lovely meal for
nice
it.
salad and stuff like that, and a couple of drinks.
And that included the drinks. But it's not a lot. But when you do that 2 or 3 times a week, you know, you've only got to do that every week for a month, and then you're soon cracking up like 500 quid easily, aren't you, just on going out for a meal?
Yeah.
So yeah, we're trying to be. We did do that spreadsheet, didn't we?
Yeah, but it's on.
But then
it's
it was on
the
main
boat
computer, and
which
now we can't get to that.
runs
So we
off
need
at mains, so.
We do need to run it again, but I would say we're spending what?
1,400 quid a month.
Right, yeah, probably 1,400 quid a month.
We've spent more than that on some months.
Yeah, but that's including toilets mending and things like that.
Yeah.
Isn't it? So that's been everything. But we will have to get a little bit more wise with it and break it down so that we know.
Yeah.
But you don't have to spend a lot. You don't have to spend a lot at all. I've not had any shoes. I've not bought any.
You don't need any. We don't wear any.
I've not.
We've
not spent things silly like that. It's just food that it costs, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's not bad giving it to your own. Exactly. You'd be spending that easily at
We've
home, and you're
spent
living
more than
on,
that.
yeah, and we've no
debts.
debts, no overheads like your gas, electricity.
We paid for the
and all,
marina
you know.
for the year just before we left, so that if we need to go back to England in an emergency, we can just, might take us 2 or 3 days to get down to Crete, but we can take the boat back there, and it's not going to cost us anything when we get there because it's already paid for. And it only worked out at €400 more for the year than it was if we just paid for the winter period. It's like that, if we had to leave the boat here in Leros, because we're a big boat, we're like at top at scale for marina charges. And
there was a cracking marina behind us, and one of the guys that we met, friends of Matsu, this other guy, he'd got his boat there, he's just brought it in.
He keeps it in the water 6 months of the year.
And how long was his? His was only 30 foot?
30 foot, and he's paying nearly £4,000 for it. So if we had to leave
we're
our
not
boat here, say we had to go home, and we had to leave the boat here for, I don't know, 3 weeks, it'd probably cost us £1,000.
Because
So
they'll charge more for shorter periods than they do long.
So it was well worth peace of mind really to pay for the year, and we know that we're guaranteed our spot when we get back there.
But to cut a long story short, yeah, it's cheaper than living when we had our house. You just got your main big purchase of obviously your boat, get that right, and then you hopefully not got to spend a lot every month other than your maintenance.
That's the year that was what they were paying here. I mean, our boat's 47 foot and our marina bill is £2,800.
For the year.
Sorry, €2,800.
And a euro is about a pound anyway, isn't it?
Hi Mark, any shakedown issues with the yacht so far? We've had a couple of issues. We got the jib stuck, we mentioned it all earlier. We couldn't get the jib out, we've sorted that now.
We had no toilet.
And some heads issues,
we went from
it's all sorted.
2 toilets to no toilets, now we've got 1 toilet. We've got a leaky dinghy, but it's not sinking, so we're alright. We have got to replace that next year probably. I've got to do a bit of sewing on that spray hood, because that's started to come apart a little bit.
Where the zip comes in.
We got someone to sew the bimini.
We had new windows put in the bimini.
New windows put in that. So little things that are just like that come round perhaps every 8, 9, 10 years we've done, because it didn't need doing from the previous owners, but now they do. So
yes, Michael, that doesn't include electric. That's not on our boat. That is a car half a mile away cruising, if you can hear that. It's not even proper decent music, is it?
Turkish, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're quite near Turkey, in fact, if you have a look where we are. That was on my other
We're nearer
little
Turkey than we are Greece. Or nearer the mainland.
Yeah, at the moment we're between Kos and Samos. Closer to Turkey, we're about 8.5 hours by ferry from Athens. In a lovely little place called Leros, Leros, in the northern Dodecanese. And we're in the port of
Sound
Laki.
like Judith Chalmers.
I wish I got Judith Chalmers' money.
She's dead, isn't she?
No, she isn't.
Oh, we all two died, weren't it?
Yeah. Yeah, but there's loads of things. And if you look on the internet, this was well known for having horrendous mental hospitals. BBC Channel 4 exposed it in about when were that? In the early 90s, where they got people locked up and chained up like animals, basically, with nothing on. But they've since gone, but we'll put all that in our video.
We've just been asked how did we like Kos? How did we find Kos? Well, we just kept heading north and we just came across this big lump of land.
I have to think about it.
We didn't go to Kos town. Our original plan was to go to Kos Marina to drop our daughter off, and we was in Nisseros, which is the island directly south from Kos, 10 miles away. If we'd have gone to Kos Marina, where we was planning to drop them off and then spend a few days there, it would have been something like 5 hours from where we were in Nisseros, the volcano.
Yeah.
And somebody says, why don't you just go to that port there, straight above? It was literally...
Cardamina. I'm saying it right.
Yeah. Cartagena, I think. So it's one of the little ports on the island of Kos, on the south side of it. And again, we went stern to on the wall, and it was free.
No charge.
No charge for we didn't have electric, did we? We just had some water. We just filled it with water, but no charge at all, and right next to the town. So it was okay.
Bit too touristy.
Yeah, very touristy.
I like things happening, if I'm honest with you. Did get to manage to watch the football, so that was quite good on that Saturday night. Left you looking after the boat, didn't I? Because you didn't want to go and look at it. But yeah, it was, I can't remember what it was, FA Cup, I think, or something.
Was that good?
So it was that good, yeah. Can't even remember who I watched.
So
Brain
yeah,
dead.
Rhodes as well. That were a little bit too commercial for me, I think.
Yeah. Once you've got to see all these beautiful islands, I've surprised myself. Low power
No, we're on low power now, after.
I've surprised myself that I like the more remote islands more than I thought I would. Don't get me wrong, I loved going into Mandrake Harbour. Where was that? Rhodes.
That was in Rhodes. That's the old one where you go through what used to be what's
one
his
of
name?
the 7 ancient wonders of the world. The
Not
Helios.
Helios statue.
where
It's
his
gone
legs are
now.
apart.
Yeah.
Legs are apart and they used to go under it.
There's 2 deer there now.
Fabulous place, and you feel like, well, it's just showing off really, isn't it? There's all holiday makers and stuff, and you're coming in on your yacht, and it's like the thing that you've always dreamed of, because we've always been on the port side in a cafe or whatever, watching people coming in thinking, one day that'll be us. And then one day, hey ho, it was us.
Colossus entrance, that's it.
Correct, yes, yeah, Colossus entrance. So we only stayed there one night because we had to move.
Yeah, we went
'cause
down
the
to
charter
Rhodes.
boats were
We went
coming
down to Rhodes Marina.
And then we went round. But I did love that. They were very friendly bloke, weren't they?
And the reason we went into the marina rather than anchored up is because they'd predicted some really strong winds, and
we
on
did.
that part of Greece, is it called the Rhodes Sea, just there, and it does kick up an early. Quite some rough water there.
Yeah, we were glad to wait, weren't we? That little
So
bit
we went
out.
round the corner and got in the marina, and our daughter were coming, so we got there on the Thursday. They arrived on the Saturday night, so we hired a car and went to the airport and picked them up. And then we thought they can have a couple of days just to get used to being on the boat with a little bit of moving while we're in the marina before they take them out on the sea.
But I like Rhodes better than Kos.
Yeah, I did.
Rhodes, actual town I walked into and stuff and round, and it's old walled
It's historical.
town. Knights of the what?
St.
St. John or something.
Oh, excuse me.
And then cobble streets, and well, you can just imagine it all in the olden days. But really, really interesting. Right, good.
Steve's just asking about soul plan. Right, so at the moment we're on the iPhone.
Just
We've
over
got
2 weeks.
Who Are We? Who Are We? Oh, we call it an Who Are We. That's on Wind, which is on contract for anywhere in Greece. That gives us, is it 20 gig? Or we're up to 15 now. I think it's due to renew today.
Yeah, end of the month.
So we get 20 gigs on that. I also get, I've been getting unlimited since we've been back to the UK, and I've been using my 3G, my 3 phone on UK network. It is unlimited data, and up until now I've been getting it unlimited, but I had an email yesterday saying your restrictions back on now because we've been back 2 months. And then we bought one of these Sky Roams, which is unlimited data anywhere in the world, or 110 countries, but it's basically worldwide.
And we
And
flicked
we
from
were
one to another,
yeah,
don't
we
we?
flicked between it. We were quite happy to get that, but what they don't tell you until you've actually bought it and signed up for the contract on it is that it is unlimited data, but you get 500 megabytes per day at really fast speed, and then it just goes back down to something where some days you can't even read Facebook on it. It's crap. So I did get an affiliation with them, so I got a commission if I recommended it to anybody, but I won't recommend it.
If all of it was as fast as the first 500 meg, you'd be laughing.
They've just sent
They
me
might change
they've
it.
just sent me a survey asking would I recommend it and stuff, and I've given quite a lengthy report saying you mizzling people because you're saying it's unlimited data and it's all these fast connection speeds, and it's not until you've actually signed up for the contract. It is a monthly one, so you can cancel it, but you don't find out about this 500 megabyte capping at high speed.
Yeah.
Well, 500 megabytes, what, half an hour on Facebook?
But the internet here, when you go into cafes,
It's all free.
is free. And you were saying the other day how quick it was, or to
No, that
upload
was
or
on this.
download. Oh, was that who are we?
On this,
Much better than being in England, what we were paying for.
I was the last video we did was just under a gigabyte, the one on YouTube, episode 34, and it took literally 3 minutes to upload on this. On our BT broadband high-speed internet connection back home,
All singing, all dancing.
that'd have took 2 hours, 2-3 hours.
Yeah, so that's better.
Yeah.
I think we pay a lot of money.
We're paying
For
stupid money.
internet things.
We pay nearly £200 a month.
Nearly £200 a month out of your £1,400, a lot of money for internet. But
That's
you,
why
you
we need.
felt like
That's
you'd
why
got
we
no
need
arms.
Patreons.
But you did feel like you got no arms when you couldn't go on the
Yeah.
internet and stuff. I don't go on it much, and when I want to go on it, I've
You're always
got
on your phone.
Yes, but and when I go on my phone, I say, why can't I get on the internet? And we
Well, that's
always, our problem is charging. That is a massive problem. Every time you look at something,
It needs
it
charging
needs
up.
bloody charging. Every time I want a video, one battery, are these charged? No, it's not charged. And then it runs out, and you're like, oh, there's just not enough charging facilities. So we've got to get wiser or better with that.
Well,
haven't
some
we?
of it runs on mains. That's the problem.
And then
So-
when we go into a mains place, that's what all we're doing all the time. Is
It's
charge everything up, charge everything up. To try and get us going for a few more days.
Yeah. Okay, Michael. Well,
Yeah.
we're going to go as well anyway
we've
because
been on.
we've been on just
Over
over
an
an hour, and we've just had the phone's flashing up saying low power, and I can't turn it
Strange,
off and
isn't
put it into the power socket because we've got this light on it.
Yeah.
So
So thank you for joining us.
yeah,
Keep watching. If you're not a patron, please join and be one so that you can see our next video about the boat that we promised you to do earlier. Hope you enjoy things, and finally seeing some of the beautiful islands around here in the Greek Med.
Yeah. And you can keep up with us on Instagram. We're putting a few pictures on a day on there. So yeah, that's all, folks.
Life's good. Alright, we'll catch up with you.
Yeah.
Some other time.
Look out for the boat tour video coming later this week.
Alright.
Okay, thanks
See
for
you,
joining
Wayne.
us.
Thank you, everybody.
Give us a like if you've not, a thumbs up if you've not already done it.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Bless
it.
you all. Stay
Okay.
good. Stay safe. Stay happy. Bye.
See you. Thanks for coming. Bye.